It's 3:04 AM on a soaking wet Shaftesbury Avenue. What on earth am I doing here, may you ask? Ah yes, of course, it's time for another trip.
Piccadilly Circus.
And with that, welcome to Carl's Travel Channel. Please sit back, buckle up and enjoy the ride. And always remember, the nearest exit may be behind you.
Victoria Bus Station.
The first destination is Victoria Bus Station. From here, I need to get out the umbrella and walk up the road to the coach station. Once inside in the dry, I'm immediately presented with this nice retro departure board, and hopefully my coach is on here. There's some nice displays in here too, on the history of the station. It's nice that the staff take pride in their place of work. And at 04 AM, I'm on board the National Express for a prompt departure. The coach ticket today cost £9, booked in advance, which is just as well because the entire coach was full. I attempted to board the 3:30 AM, which was also full, so this is worth remembering if you turn up early. Seats are unlikely to be available. USB charging is available on board. I have enjoyed all my previous coach trips, from London Stratford to Stansted Airport. However, this coach to Luton, I can't say the same. There were just simply too many stops, and it took too long. And inbound from Luton Airport to Golders Green in the future may be okay. Anyhow, we eventually arrived at Luton in the pouring rain. And after a quick journey through security, a coffee and sandwich, it was time to board the flight. So, here we go. The weather today certainly ruined any chances of a full flight video. The ticket price for this flight was only £20.99. I got allocated a middle seat, so I called the customer services and then paid for a window for £7. Just passing the Harrods Aviation Centre, where VIPs may fly from. Unable to record the takeoff due to the amount of water on the window, we were soon in the air. I was also unfortunate on this flight to end up with a window over the wing. I think this was due to an aircraft swap from an A319 to an A320. One thing I did notice were the winglets, which I've not seen this type on many Airbuses. The flight was nice and pleasant, and not long after, I saw Lake Geneva approach. And welcome to Geneva Cointrin Airport. We had landed at approximately 10:30 AM.
welcome you to Geneva. Please keep your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt signs have been switched off. Electronic devices can now be used. Have a look around to make sure you take everything with you. Please be careful when you open the lockers, as items may have moved. Smoking is not allowed until you reach a smoking area. Did you know we offer unbeatable price guarantees for our package holidays? Whether you're after a city break or a beach holiday, we've got thousands of hand-picked hotels for you to choose from.
They were certainly doing a lot of promotion for easyJet holidays on these flights, and the windows had certainly got steamy. After alighting the plane via stairs and a bus, we were soon in the terminal and heading toward passport control, which was also a fairly quick process. Some nice views to be had over the airport. And very soon I had made it outside to the coach station, and here is a list of all the departures. And my coach awaits, the 12:15 PM service from Geneva Airport to Chamonix Centre. Swiss Tours is a licensee of Grey Line Travel, USA, and my fare was only £11.80, booked online on the Trainline app. There are no seat reservations on board, so make sure you arrive early and pick the best seat. However, everyone does get a seat. Please remember this area in the video as the pickup location by these large vents on the left. There are also no phone charging sockets and no toilets on this coach, so please come prepared. However, the tickets are excellent value for money, and I would thoroughly recommend the service. So, here we go. The coach then headed direct to Chamonix, although I thought it was supposed to stop in Geneva city centre first. About 11 minutes into the journey, the coach driver then made a U-turn on the motorway. He made a quick announcement saying that he was heading back to Geneva to pick up some stranded passengers. I wonder whether he just forgot. Anyhow, here we are arriving into Geneva city centre coach station, which, for handiness of this video, shows the pick-up and drop-off location for the city centre passengers. I noticed a small porter cabin waiting room here. Another 10 to 15 passengers joined the coach, and we were back on our way. However, it looked like we were now around half an hour behind schedule. Encouragement as I see Mont Blanc appear on this signpost. One bonus, however, of the stop was a little sightseeing tour of the city centre. I had never been to Geneva before, so I was quite excited when just coming into focus was the Jet d'eau fountain, the most famous landmark in the city. It's 140 metres high and pumps 500 litres of water per second. And just along from the fountain is the Ferris wheel. Well, it's certainly not the London Eye. The coach then heads up into the mountains along some impressive viaducts and bridges. I'll let you enjoy the ride in silence for a minute or so to take in the scenery. And after a short sleep on the coach's comfortable seats, we arrived into Chamonix. We passed through the bus stands, where in an hour or so we would pick up our bus to go to the hotel. And arriving 30 minutes late into the drop-off location at Chamonix Sud bus station. This is also the pick-up point for those going back in the other direction. This large apartment block opposite is also a good reference point for those trying to find the bus and coach station at Chamonix Sud. I then walked from here to the city centre to have a little explore. It was very quiet here today. Across the street, and not too far from the bus station, is the entrance to the famous Aguille Du Midi cable car, the highest cable car in Europe. Tickets, however, are certainly not cheap, around €80 return. Alas, it was not open today due to bad weather. Instead, I went to see if I could find a coffee and cake before my bus to the hotel. And I did, in this small little bakery opposite the Aguille Du Midi entrance. Back at the bus station, it was time to get acquainted with the local services and where I should pick up the bus from. I purchased the ticket from the kiosk in here, which is 50 cents cheaper than on the bus. And here is the bus stop for Les Houches and the 101 bus service. After around a 20-minute and fairly uncomfortable ride on the 01 bus, I arrived in Les Houches. It was a very short walk from the bus stop to my hotel, the Rockypop. A nice but good value ski lodge with a quirky character. Check-in was straightforward and I asked for my day pass for the train tomorrow. Make sure you remember this. I found my room with a very comfy bed and was grateful for a few hours rest. The room price was only £45 per night. Outlets and plugs were provided at the bedside, and the shower and bathroom was well equipped, even including some free toiletries. It's the first time I've seen a Rubik's Cube in a bathroom. One thing to point out here was the very confusing electricity key card. It took the reception about a minute to explain to every guest how to use it, and it must be inserted as shown here. Good heating and air conditioning is also provided. It's a shame about the weather, however, the view from my bedroom window certainly impressed. Time to head out for a stroll to explore the local area before dinner. I found this nice little park and lake nearby the hotel. The rain, however, then really started to pick up. Luckily, I had my umbrella. I noticed this tunnel heading under the railway and went to investigate. Then I saw there were signs saying please do not enter. It was under surveillance. I was intrigued what was under here, but decided it's safe not to investigate. If you know, please let me know in the comments below. It felt like a tropical downpour here. Heading back towards town, I passed one of the many streams with fresh water flowing down from the Alps. A quick walk and explore around the town centre of Les Houches. There were several restaurants to choose from, including this Italian pizzeria. And some gift or souvenir shops. I was then greeted by this beautiful rainbow stretching from side to side across the valley. Arriving back at my hotel, I certainly felt ready for food and a beer. The ambience here was good, however, the restaurant was so full, the only seat left was at the bar, and I ordered this nice Neapolitana pizza. Retiring to my room for the night, I admired this old red traditional telephone, which reminded me of one in my nan's house a long time ago. A good night's sleep was needed. Good morning from the Rockypop Hotel, Les Houches. It was time for breakfast, and wow, what a view for it. A cooked and cold buffet breakfast was provided at the hotel for €15. Not cheap, I would say, considering the food. Unlimited orange juice and coffee, however, was provided. However, I didn't have long to stay around, as I had a train to catch, admiring along the way this waterfall in the mountains. Here is the bus stop where you would switch from bus to train. I would then head to Chamonix station, where I would await my first train of the day, the Mont Blanc Express. A quick look at the timetable, and they run approximately once per hour. One important quirk to remember here is this is a request stop and you must flag the train down. A small little waiting room is provided to the right. The departure screen had no details of the next service, just regarding engineering works. And here is my ticket for the journey, the free day pass stamped from the Rockypop Hotel. Now, just time to wait for my train, the 9:59 AM service. Let's hope it arrives. Ah, and right on cue, here she comes. Some nice, colourful seating on board and comfortable seats. So, here we go. If you would like to watch the entire video of this train ride, please see the link on the screen or in the bio. One of the first stops was Chamonix Aguille Du Midi. This is a special stop for the Aguille Du Midi cable car, and not the main station where you would arrive to visit downtown Chamonix. That will be coming next.
Mesdames et messieurs, nous arrivons à Chamonix.
And arriving into the main Chamonix Mont Blanc station. This is where you could change for the Glace Ice Train, which I'll be visiting later on today.
Mesdames et messieurs, nous arrivons en gare de Chamonix Mont Blanc, 15 minutes d'arrêt. Chamonix Mont Blanc, 15 minutes stop.
One important thing to remember here, as the announcement just said, the trains often wait for up to 15 minutes. I decided to stay on the train as I had no other plans. Here is another look at the seating. And off we go again.
Mais moi, je l'aide à se préparer. Moi, mon first look avec Max, ça va être quand il est je fais les photos après. Évidemment, je pense à les photos avant, à les photos après, mais moi, les photos, ça va être après. Je vais avec moi. Moi, ça fait vraiment de mon père et ma mère m'accompagnent. Et après ça, tu fais dans le petit genre des petits apéros pendant le soir.
Mesdames et messieurs, nous arrivons au Buet.
Regardez, c'est dans les spécimens. Ah ouais?
C'est spécial parce que là, c'est comme ma première expérience dans les gens. Plus commis, ok, on est rendu là, là, je vais devenir bonne, genre, on comprend. C'est ça, c'est bien parce que justement, d'avoir le temps de se marquer plus, on va faire aller en plein mariage, je me sens comme si je vois en mariage, ça peut être ça.
J'aimerais ça que marcher avec votre
Another look around the carriage, showing the large panoramic windows. And we arrive back into Chamonix. It was time for a walkabout and to stretch my legs. I'm not sure why people left so many locks here. If you know, let me know in the comments below. One of the many fresh alpine rivers is here, flowing through the town. A nice view of one of the main squares. However, I noticed there were lots of wasps in this area, and a few times I had to run for cover. I began walking up one of the hills to find a cable car and get a better view of the mountains. Worn out after a very steep walk, I made it to the Brevent Cable Car. Some technical details on the gondola. But with limited information online about its operation, I was then greeted with this, fully closed. It was not clear whether this was due to the weather or for seasonal repairs. I decided, however, it was worth coming up here as it afforded one of the best views of the mountains I had of the trip, with this one of the side peaks of Mont Blanc. It was time to descend back down to the town centre, taking in the mountains along the way. Back in the centre of Chamonix, I got buzzed again by the wasps here. Nevertheless, as the sun came out, it afforded a beautiful view over the river. It was then time for a beer and refreshment in this bar, Elevation 1904, named after the height of the Montenvers train. And that is where I will be heading next. Across the road from the bar is the Gare de Chamonix Mont Blanc. But this is not where you catch the train from. You must follow this route here, along the side to the left of the station, and then right up over the footbridge. A nice advertising poster for where we were going, the Montervers de Glace. I do apologise in advance if any of my pronunciations are incorrect. Presumably the fences along this bridge have seen better days, hence these temporary ones in front. And I make it to the Gare du Montenvers. After a quick check, you cannot buy tickets in here. So I came back outside to find where they are, passing this traditional French ice cream van, which I've noticed they have outside many French stations. Building up some more excitement of where we are about to go. To the right here is this preserved steam locomotive number 8, which dates back to 1927, and it stayed on in service primarily for maintenance works until 1979. Aha, and just by here is the ticket desk. You could purchase a ticket to the Glacier and the train for €39, which is cheaper than buying the two tickets separately. And with that, I make it on board the train and check out the seating inside. Certainly no USB on here from this era. And so, here we go. This rack railway opened in 1909 and was an incredible feat of engineering for the time. It's the second highest in the whole of France. If you would like to watch the video of the entire ride of the journey, please see the link or in the bio. As it winds its way to 1,904 metres of elevation, it affords some incredible views back down over the Chamonix Valley. And yes, as you heard, pets are allowed on board. And finally, coming into sight is the incredible Mer de Glace. It is the longest and largest glacier in France, and the second in the Alps. This is one of the most impressive station arrivals I've ever seen. And off the train at 1,900 metres above sea level, the air was certainly thinner and fresher up here. A list of some of the things you can do on the site. Sadly, this really is an example of global warming in action, and the glacier is retreating at an incredible rate. It used to be visible from downtown Chamonix. But wow, look at that view. It's time to board the cable car and head down to the glacier. Be sure to buy the combo ticket for the train and cable car at the same time. If you purchase it up here, it's double the price. I will now let you enjoy the ride down to the ice cave. I've sped this section of the video up very slightly, so we arrive a little faster. The full-length version is included in my Montenvers full ride video. And so we make it down into the ice cave station. This is a previous portal, now abandoned as the glacier has retreated. We're not quite there yet, however. There's a lot of steps to go. Join me for the full walk down. Luckily, you're not doing the steps whilst watching the video, but it gives you an idea of what is involved. And the first view of the current ice cave entrance. It began to rain lightly, which made operation of the camera slightly tricky. Weaving back and forward, this was certainly a bit of fun. A closer view of the entrance. And we made it. Just the excitement of the cave awaits. It felt a little like an alien planet down here. And welcome to the ice cave. It really is truly stunning and well worth the steps. Lots of little information balls in here about the history and science of the glacier. Be careful when stepping into here, it's quite slippery. I had to touch the walls a few times to reaffirm to myself that this really was ice. This nicely lit room had information on glaciers from other countries. Carefully stepping into this small side grotto. I had to be careful not to lose my footing in here. The colours, however, under the ice are incredible. Some scientific information on the progress of the glacier. As the sign once again points out, the glacier has sadly retreated 160 metres in 35 years. The colours and contours of the ice are just fascinating to take in. It's nice to see people have brought their pets down here. A final and inspiring view of the cave entrance before I head back up. And certainly, looking back up from here, it looks like a very long way. And so we make the ascent back up the stairs. On the way up, I noticed this side bridge, which is for skiers and climbers heading out on their own over the glacier. That seemed too scary for me. And over here you could see people are even camping. Another surprise on the way back were these artworks in the cable car entrance building. Out of the fierce weather, it's time to get back on the cable car. This time I was lucky enough to have one all to myself. The seats were surprisingly comfortable, and I didn't think it felt particularly claustrophobic in here either. And so we head back up, and yes, just in case you're wondering, this has been sped up. I noticed there were actually trails down here where you could hike up or down if you wanted to. And now the final set of stairs to go, up to the restaurant and train station. And with that, it was time to catch the classic old train back down to Chamonix. It was certainly a lot busier going back down than coming up, but the views were just as incredible. I would recommend to make sure you allow enough time to get back down, as the trains finish early and you wouldn't want to get stranded up on the mountain. After a quick and naughty bite to eat at the McDonald's, it was then sadly time to say goodbye to Chamonix and catch my coach back up to Geneva Airport. And so, here we go. Just like on the way out, we passed again through Geneva city centre, dropping off a few passengers there. And once again, the coach cost around €11 one way, booked in advance on the Trainline app. It was the same driver and coach on the way back as I had yesterday. And with that, we arrive into the departures area at Geneva Cointrin Airport. The airport was fast and efficient. However, as you can see here, there was not much to do. But luckily, despite them saying it was not at first, my flight was on time, and it was time to board.
Card and as demonstrated by the crew.
And just like that, we were landing at London Gatwick Airport, seen here passing over the South Terminal. easyJet, however, arrive into the North Terminal, as you can see here, passing by the large air bridge. An Emirates A380 is also docked into here.
Calgary Santos for arrival.
Arrival and passport control was quick and easy, and soon I was at the train station. Depending on where you are going, it's usually cheaper to buy a ticket from Gatwick to East Croydon at £6.50, and then use your Oyster card from there onwards. And off we go on the southern trains to East Croydon. The whole journey back into London only takes around 45 minutes.
London Blackfriars, City Thameslink, Farringdon, London St Pancras International, West Hampstead Thameslink, St Albans City, Harpenden, Luton Airport Parkway, Luton, Degrave, Harlington, Flitwick and Bedford.
And after a changeover at East Croydon, dashing up the stairs to use my contactless to tap back in, I was on the Thameslink for the final stage of my journey. Alighting at Farringdon, I was homeward bound at Tottenham Court Road. On screen now are the total costings for this trip. Please pause if you want to note them down. And with that, thank you for watching Carl's Travel Channel. Please like, subscribe, and I hope you've enjoyed the ride.